Superhero fatigue seems to be at an all-time high. How do you think this will affect Avengers Doomsday, Brand New Day, and superhero movies moving forward? I think people want events. They don't just want more Marvel. They don't just want more superhero stuff. They want an event, something that's worth going to. So Deadpool and Wolverine felt like an event. Therefore, it was fine. Or the highest grossing R-rated movie of all time. Knocked it out of the park. Spider-Man No Way Home was an event. Over $1.5 billion. Knocked it out of the park. But this year, Thunderbolts, Superman, Fantastic Four all got really good reviews, but none of them got even close to $1 billion. They were good movies, but we've had good superhero movies before. Just the desire for some superhero stuff isn't enough anymore. It has to be that next level of interest, of demand. So, what does that mean for Avengers Doomsday? I don't expect Avengers Doomsday to perform on Infinity War Endgame levels because it doesn't have the build-up, the excitement, the momentum that Phase 3 had. Not remotely. This year's movie's performance being the perfect example of that. But it's still an Avengers movie, and it'll still have the trailers having a bunch of these big, gigantic, the headliners that Robert Downey Jr., we won't have seen him in one of these Marvel movies in 7 years. So, it'll perform on par with the first two Avengers movies, which is a great performance. When you don't compare it to Avengers Infinity War and Endgame. It's a great performance. And that's what they always should have been aiming for. I think that's one of the problems is they tried to aim, got to match Endgame. And she's no, it's a rebuilding phase. It needs to match Avengers. It doesn't need to match this other huge thing. So I think because it is an event, a new Avengers movie, first one in 7 years with Robert Downey Jr., with cameos, it's an event. But it kind of depends on how good it is and how good's the trailer? We'll see. I think Spider-Man Brand New Day, once again, will do fine because it's Spider-Man and this is a character that is just extraordinarily popular. He's the most popular comic book character, like the most broad appeal, certainly in movies, consistently. Amazing Spider-Man 2 is the big underperformer and it made like $800 million, $800 million. Like that's the underperforming movie. They didn't rush out the follow-up to No Way Home. And I think that it's an event just because it's a Spider-Man movie and people love him so much. And Spider-Man always has very broad appeal. But now you have a situation of like, this is a Spider-Man that has been with a lot of people growing up. My kids entirely their life, he's their Spider-Man. And now, Liam will be in high school. Chloe will be in the 8th grade heading into the 8th grade, like old enough that it like really matters. I guess, how do you get to 7th grade? So I expect it'll do great. But I think just in general, like the overall interest, I don't know how well Clayface and Supergirl will do. Supergirl is not as popular as Superman, and Superman wasn't a full-blown grand slam. Wasn't even a home run. So it'll be less than that, probably. We'll see. We'll see the trailer, see if it really feels like it's got a spark to it, a flavor to it that taps into something that people get excited about. But just, I think general interest, people say it's, it's not comic book movie fatigue, it's mediocre comic book movie fatigue. And there's truth to that. But there's also oversaturation that when there's so many things scratching the superhero itch, and there's like both all the new stuff that keeps coming out, TV shows, movies, plus the whole history of everything else. Remember, when I graduated high school, there was not a single, the only theatrically released, wide released Marvel movie ever, or the only two were Howard the Duck and Blade. No Spider-Man, no X-Men, none of that. None of it happened when I graduated high school. So then X-Men is like it's the whole thing scratching the itch. And then Spider-Man became this phenomenon because it was the first one ever. When I graduated high school, you had Michael Keaton Batman, you had Christopher Reeve's Superman, you had Blade. That was kind of it. Now you have all this stuff, plus TV shows So it's that, the oversaturation combined with the mediocrity that people just want to go for the events. Most of these clips are pulled from my Patreon live streams. I do about 6 live streams every single month for $2 per month, $20 per year. You can get access to all the exclusive videos and live streams for $5 per month. You get your name on my end card. At the top tier, you get a 30-minute video chat with me each month. The link down below in the description has more information.